good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Welcome to the Be the CEO of Your Life show. Today we're going to talk about sales calls. Do you suck at sales calls? Then you need to watch it today. So I'm Yvonne of Amaze Yourself, and we help agency owners to increase their revenue, get more clients, and we do so on a complete no cure, no pay basis. So if you do not grow your business by at least 30%, we don't get paid. In this environment, this live show, we talk about topics that are important for you to grow and to scale your business. And today we're going to talk about a topic that I know is so on top of mind for so many people, and that's why we talk about it. Sales calls. It's as if I don't talk about anything else lately with my clients in coaching calls and also during sales calls with prospects. Sales calls is a hot topic. And why? Because many do not like it. As a matter of fact, many people tell me, I hate sales and I suck at it. I'm not great at it. What about you? How do you feel about sales calls? And today, I'm going to share with you tips that are going to make it very easy to do a sales call. All right? Well, what do you need to do a sales call well? Well, first of all, you need to have an offer that you really, really love and that you believe in and that you know is going to bring the results to your clients. If you can, you also need to make sure that your offer is like a no risk offer, meaning if your client buys it, they have a guarantee they can't go wrong. So that's almost the essential for going into a sales call, because too often people go into a sales call feeling like, oh my God, I need to do a lot of stuff and I'm not great at it and I'm going to push something. Trust me, when you have an offer you are so in love with, you 3000% love, it's not going to be difficult to sell. Okay, it is actually going to be difficult to stop you from talking about it because you love it so much. So what are we going to address today? Well, very important is to make sure that you lead the call with confidence. Okay, you need to show up as a leader. The other thing you need to do is to ask more and talk less, and pitching without pressure, and how to handle the I need to think about it. Okay, now sales calls, let me start with saying that, is actually nothing more than a conversation. If you go into a sales call feeling really pressured and thinking, oh my God, this has to really convert into a sales for me, that is not the right way to go into a sales call, okay? You really need to feel confident about sales calls, because why wouldn't you feel confident? Why wouldn't you feel great? Because you've got something amazing. I like to compare sales calls to a doctor's visit, okay? So you see someone over there, they are hurt. They are visibly hurt. They have like a big, I don't know, something on their head, like a big scrape and the blood is streaming out. And you're a doctor. And you look at it and you go like, oh my God, that person needs some stitches and a bandage and, a little bit of antiseptic cream and they're fine to go. What do? When that person is sitting there, you're going to say, are you in pain? Yes. What have you tried? Are you waiting for someone to help? No. Do you want some help? Yes, please, because my head is hurting and it's not going well and I really need help. Great, I can help you. Okay. Can I help you? Sure. This is what I suggest. I'm going to stitch your I'm going to stitch your scrape. Okay. I'm going to put a bandage on, give you some medication, and you're as good as new. Do you want me to help you? Yes, please. When can we start? Right now. That's a sales call. You are a doctor and you are seeing someone that needs your help, okay? And the reason why people dread a sales call is because they're thinking, I'm going to push something through their throat. You're not. You're going to first investigate whether that person really needs your help, okay? You're going to talk to them. You're going to ask them a lot of questions. You're going to see whether they really need your help. And when you see they really need your help, you're going to ask them, Do you want my help? If so, excellent. When do you want to start? Well, I'm sick, so let's start right now. Great, let's do it. And the thing is, when I compare a sales call to a doctor's treatment, people always say, yeah, I understand it. You're not going to withhold medication to someone is sick because you're afraid to talk about the medication. No, if you know someone is sick, if you know they need your help, if you know you can help, you're going to help them. You're going to ask them whether you can help them, right? That is what is a sales call. So there is basically nothing to be afraid of, because all you do is investigating whether that other person has a pain point and whether you can help that. So that's also the reason why when you are in a sales call and you're the seller, you need to show up with confidence. And what I mean by that, now I'm not turning you into an arrogant person. Nothing wrong with being an arrogant person, especially not when you're selling, but you need to have confidence. So you need to believe in what you sell. So much so that you know that if this person isn't going to say yes, there might be 10 other people waiting in line for you to buy it, even when you don't see it yet. The last thing you want to do is to go into a sales call with desperation because you want that person to say yes, because that desperation is vibrating off you, makes you go like doing difficult things, makes you maybe lowball your offer and whatever just to close the sale. You're not desperate. You know what you offer is so good that basically if someone knows about it, they should have it. All right. And that's how you show up. You go into that sales call knowing what you have, what you do is amazing. It's just for them to see it. Okay. Now, how do you start the call with confidence? And this is where it can go wrong quickly. You start the call with confidence at the beginning of the call, okay? If you don't open the sales call well enough, if you don't take the lead immediately, not gonna happen the sale, because people want to buy from leaders. People want to know you are in control. That means that you need to determine the agenda for the call. So after you had very short pleasantries, how are you? Lovely weather, where are you based? You ask them, why did they hop on a call with you? Because that tells you already the sales motivation behind it, and you're gonna set the agenda. What I mean by that is that you say, listen, I'm going to ask you some questions to understand more about you and your business, or your business, depending whether you work business to business or business to customer. And you're going to say, I'm going to ask you a couple of questions. If I hear I can help you, I will tell you how my program looks like. And then I will leave it for you to decide whether you want to work with me or not. Does that sound like a plan? Yeah, that sounds great. Good. Let me ask you the first question. Okay. So all you do is you frame the sales call. You're already saying, I'm going to ask you questions. If there is a match, I'm going to pitch you. Okay. And if you like my pitch, you can decide we're going to work together. So you're already telling them, I'm going to pitch you. You're already telling them they need to make the decision. And you're already telling them, I want to know more about you, right? That's how you lead in a call. If someone is rushing you, if someone is rushed and they want constantly go quicker, if someone constantly keeps asking you about your prices, your process, before you feel ready to share that, before you have gained all the information from them, you need to take back control. You are in the lead, because if you cannot ask them questions, if you don't understand enough about them, but more importantly, if your prospect hasn't felt the pain enough, which makes them want to buy because they don't like the pain, they want to solve the pain, and you have an offer that solves the pain, that makes them buy. If you have not had that at all, and you bounce straight into your process, straight into your price, guess what? They're going to say, thank you, I'm going to think about it, and they disappear. What they were doing in that instance, when they don't want to listen and don't want to answer any questions, they are just price hopping. They are just looking at, how does she do it? How does she do it? How does he do it? How do they do it? What's their price? I'm going for the lowest. Okay? There is no connection. So keep control. You are in the lead. Set the agenda at the beginning. Keep the lead by asking them questions and not disturbing the process by allowing your prospect to hop to the end, right? Keep the lead by following your process, and make sure that you are in the lead in terms of timing. When people start to rush you, when they go like, oh, I've got only 5 minutes. Okay, how about we reschedule? Do not be afraid to cut a meeting short because someone is not being respectful of your time, or when you feel this is going nowhere. All right. So you are in the lead. Now, the second thing you need to know, and let me maybe write it down. Okay. Take the lead. That's the first initial thing you definitely need to do. You need to take the lead. The second thing that is critical in a sales call, and yet I see it go wrong all the time, is ask questions. Really, really important. You need to ask so many questions. As a matter of fact, your client or your potential client needs to be talking 80% of the time. Okay? You do only a bit of talking at the beginning to set the stage, at the end to do the pitch, and then again you may have to ask a whole bunch of questions to close the deal. But you are mainly asking questions. Now, the reason why you ask questions is to make sure that you get their situation right. Okay? You need to understand, what is their business? What are the challenges they are facing? What have they already tried to do to manage these issues? How well did they succeed with that, what they've been trying? Okay? You see, you're talking about pain points and how they've already tried it. Why they are not doing it themselves. Basically, why do they need your help? You also talk about and ask about their goal. Where are they now and where do they see themselves going? Okay, are you making 20K right now? You want to make 50K? What is it? But also ask about the impact that it has. The impact if they don't change. Okay, maybe they're going to shoot themselves because they're so done with this situation. The impact it has when they do change. Oh my God, I feel top of the world. I'm going to throw the biggest champagne party ever, right? It's going to be wow. Okay, make them connect to that feeling. Make them feel the end situation already. Okay, that's really what you need to do. So you need to paint the picture. Where are you now? Where do you want to go? How important is that? How do you feel? And basically, that situation, which is what we call the gap, is what you're going to talk to them about in your pitch. You're here now. You want to go there. I can assure you I can get you there. How? Let me show you. Okay? You're going to ask them how important this is for them. I always ask this issue. How important is it? Okay. On a scale from 1 to 10, 10 being most important, 1 being least important, where does it rank? Okay. Oh, it's a 10, it's a 10, it's a 10. Really? Okay. And how committed are you to solving this issue? Oh, wow, I'm really, really committed. And when do you want it to be changed? Yesterday. Okay, so you're telling me this is a critical issue for you. Yeah. You're telling me that you're very committed as can be, and that you want to change yesterday. Right. Okay. So then you summarize what you've heard. You summarize it not so much for yourself, but for them to actually really tell you that is it. You heard right. You listen to me. You see me. Okay. So you've done the summary. You double check the facts. Right. This is it. And what you do then is you actually, very, very simple, you pitch without pressure. Okay. Now, this is again something a lot of people dread, pitching. Oh, I need to pitch. I don't know how to pitch, whatever. You know what you do and you know who you help. So that's all there is to it. If someone has shared literally their heart and soul with you, then what you say, but only if you do want to, and I'll come back to that, what you say is, I can help. This is what I do, and I can help. And then you have a very short pitch, which states what it is you do. Okay, so for me, we help agency owners like yourself to go from 20K to 50K. We've helped over 327 business owners grow their business, and we do so on a complete no cure, no pay basis. So if you don't get more clients, if your revenue doesn't grow by 30%, we don't get paid. That's what we do. And listening to you, I know your issues are completely in line with that. So I can help you to reach your goal, 50K. Would you like me to explain how we've helped other clients like yourself in a similar situation to go from 20 to 50K? Do you want me to share it? Yes, please. So if you listen to me, I had a very short pitch, right? It was just a few lines, what it is I do, talking about the results I'm getting them again and again. It's always about the results and who I work with. And I talked about my guarantee, which makes my offer irresistible. Okay. Now, what then happens is that I'm asking for permission. I'm asking them whether they want to hear how I would work with them. Remember at the beginning of the sales call, we said, I'm going to ask you a lot of questions. If I feel there is a match and I can help you, I will tell you about my program, and then you can see and decide whether you want to take me up on that program or not. Remember? So we've asked all the questions, 80-20, 80% prospect talking, 20% you. We do a very short pitch, short, 3 lines, so that it's clear what it is you do. And in that clarity is already, again, your leadership, your confidence. This is what we do. We helped over 327 other companies like yourself to grow. Okay. Hear how I'm including previous results, because the whole sales call is about results. What is very important when you ask all these questions from your prospects, you're going to write down, even though you may have an AI note taker on, you write down the main words they are using. My clients, my prospects talk about that they want more clients. That's the main thing. Everybody wants more clients. Okay, that's why sales calls are so important, because you need to have great sales calls to get more clients. They don't tell me, I want to increase my revenue, I want more money. Some say, I want a consistent number of clients every month. Some say, I want a sustainable pipeline, but most simply say, I want more clients. They don't tell me, I want more customers. They say, I want more clients. So guess what? When I pitch, I say, we help you get more clients, because that's what they want. So it's also important to write down those critical words you know you're going to use later on. Okay. In my pitch, I'm weaving in that my prospect that I'm speaking to now wanted to go from 20K to 50K. And I'm telling them, I can help you to go from 20 to 50K. I've done it. Okay, so the pitch is short, but it's critical that you use your prospect's language and that you take their goals to showcase that you can help them. Then you ask for permission. Would you like me to share with you how we do it? That's all. Yes, I want you to tell me how you do it. There is nothing difficult about it. You're going to then share with you the process on how you approach working with clients. And if you're smart, you're going to constantly go back to what they told you in that question hour. You know, it feels like an hour asking questions. It shouldn't be an hour, but you ask a lot of information and you're going to pitch them your process by using some of their language, what they just told you in the questions asked. Okay. The other thing you should do is when you pitch them and you talk your prospect through the process you're going to take them through as well, is you're going to drop in examples of other clients, previous clients, current clients in similar situations to theirs, okay? And you're going to tell them how well they did. I had someone with a designer agency like yourself, and within 1 month they had made back their entire investment in my program. How does that sound to you? Oh my gosh, yes, that sounds awesome. Okay, so there's nothing difficult in that process description. Nothing. It's actually fun because you finally get to talk about how you take your clients from where they are now to where they want to go. And you are describing the transformation they get from working with you. You are describing how they get from where now to be. So how to mind the gap, because you're going to take them through or over the gap and you're going to solve their issue for them. Okay. I love this, guys. I really love this. Now, if you're going to talk about your services or your product, but you don't have a process in place yet, I highly encourage you to go back to the drawing board and to write out your process. It is easy. You take steps all the time. Write those steps down. And if you at all can, make those steps into an acronym which is related to the outcome you bring. My process is called GROW. There are 4 steps in it: goal setting, revenue increase, optimizations of your operations, and creating a win-win situation where we make sure that the client increase is sustainable. 4 steps. That's all. And my methodology is called GROW because I'm letting you grow from working with me. Very easy. I explain to them while in the pitch, this is the G, this is the R, this is the O, this is the W, and I tell them what we do in each phase. And I make sure that when I tell them what I do in each phase, that I'm linking it back to the results thereafter. So you want more clients. So we start with an assessment to see where you're currently getting clients, how we can optimize that, and which new client acquisition system we're going to include in your strategy. Like I've done for Heather. She doubled her revenue within 6 weeks after we drafted her strategy, right? Example, straight away, talk about your process. If you don't have a process, like I said, go back to the drawing board and come up with a process now. And very important, again, here is where you lead. You speak with confidence because you know your process is going to help them. You speak with confidence because you can showcase how many clients you already helped. If you haven't helped any clients prior, you talk to them knowing that you know them inside out. But better is to include the examples there. There is no pressure. It's no difficult at all because this is what you love, right? You love talking about what you do. You love the results you're getting your clients. So I'm trying to type out point 4. And you cannot basically shut up about it. If right now you feel you don't have an offer like that, if you feel you really had to pump yourself up to only talk about it, I'm telling you, you don't have a champagne offer. And this is the main reason why you don't sell. Because selling is easy when you have an amazing offer. Selling is easy when you love what you do and you love to talk about it. It doesn't matter whether it's your niece, your grandma, your grumpy neighbor. You simply cannot talk about anything else. Okay? That's the feeling you need to get from your offer. If it's not there yet, change it. Okay? So, pitching without pressure, basically tell them what you do, ask them permission to share how you would do it with them, take them through your process, and then you're going to ask them, how does this sound to you? All right? Do you like the idea? I love it. I don't know. Something may come up. You talk about it then. What you do not do in a sales call is you do not volunteer your price by yourself. You're not going to say, well, okay, cool. So you like the process. It's going to be 1,500 per month, 2,000 a month, 3,000 a month. Mm-mm. You let them speak and then you are silent. And you have to be silent until they ask you for the price. You are not offering the price unless your prospect has asked for it. Now, what if they don't ask for the price at all? That's very strange. It does happen. It very much means that they are not on board. And if they really, even though you've been quiet for 5 minutes and they haven't reached it, very often they will talk about something else. Then what you need to do is you need to say, would you like to know about the investment as well? And then you can already tell from their reaction that it's not going to be a go. Now, they hear the price, they say, great, when can I start? Where do I sign? You take their credit card, you process the purchase, you've got a new client. And there are many clients or prospects who will tell you, let me think about it. Now, I used to think that let me think about it means that they would go away and think about it. And quite frankly, it still happens. But you need to know and you need to figure out whether the I need to think about is truly what they need to do, or, which is very often the case, whether it is a hidden objection. You need to find out. And how do you find out? You're going to ask questions again. You're going to tell them, I appreciate it. Thank you for the transparency. Let me know. What is it that you're going to think about? Okay? You're going to ask them whether they like the process that you just shared with them. Just out of curiosity, before you go, what did you think about the process? Would it solve your problem? No, I'm not so sure. This is actually what I was thinking about. All right. That's an objection that you need to overcome. When they say, yeah, I think the process is great, tell me, why is it great? What specifically do you like about it? Well, I love that you're starting with an assessment, so I know where I am. Okay, great. Okay. Then what you're going to do is you're going to ask them if the money is an issue. And how do you do that? You're going to ask them by saying, you need to invest 20K to work with me. If you find 20K on your doorstep, would I be the person you invest in? If they doubt, you've got something to do. Okay. So you check out the really underlying reasons for why people need to think about it. Is it because they don't see the value in your process? Is it because they don't see the value in you? Is it because they don't have the money? Is it because they have been burned before? Or do they have an irrational fear? That's the sequence of the question. So when someone tells you, I need to think about it, you need to check whether it is the process, whether they like it, why do they like it, whether they would want to spend the money. If they don't have the money, you need to help them to see how can they actually pay you. Maybe there's a payment plan. Maybe there is something else you can do. Maybe they have something in savings or they can borrow it from someone. And sometimes it's that they've already been burned before. Lately, I have that a lot. People that have been really badly burned and that don't feel great. So you need to figure out which one is it, okay? And then they might just have an irrational fear. You need to figure it out. So don't just let people get away with, I need to think about it, okay? Ask what is it behind and see whether you can drag it out. And when people still say, okay, yeah, I hear you, I like it, but I still want to think about it, because a lot of people honestly need to think about things, especially when it's a larger investment, then what you always do is, I appreciate that. How about we schedule in, today is Wednesday, a call for Friday so you can think about it. Make sure to schedule that follow-up, because if you don't, they might ghost you. If you don't, they might never come back to you. All right. So always, 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 if you have tried to break through the objection of I need to think about it, make sure that you actually know the reason behind it, take away that reason. And if after all that they still need to think about it, you then set a time and a date when you're gonna have a follow-up conversation. Immediately put it on the calendar. Whew, I'm passionate about this, right? I just love it. And I know how incredibly important it is. I know how nerve-wracking it can be. What I also recommend is that you use a script. I've talked you through the script. You have it open. If you have a Zoom call, you have it open on your screen, so you actually have like a backbone to see what questions or what you need to do. If it is in person, you need to memorize it. You need to practice it with other people so you get better and better, especially the objection handling. I highly recommend you practice it. I'm currently testing an AI tool that helps me to test sales conversations, which is amazing. I can even link it to a person on LinkedIn. Truly, truly helpful. You need to come really to the point, and that's what you get when you do a lot of sales calls. If you're stressed out of your mind because you have too little sales calls, you need a method to get more sales calls. If you struggle, let me help, because that's what we do. And basically stop stressing and start owning your expertism, okay? Really start owning it, because you are amazing. And all it is, you need to share with your clients why you are amazing and why they should work with you. Because trust me, if you have an amazing offer, if you are anywhere close to my clients, because all my clients are amazing, you are an amazing human and you can really help, then you need to make them an offer. Because that's the final thing I'm going to say about it, because as you can hear, I love this topic so much. I talk too much. Don't do that in a sales call. For me, there are a couple of things critical, and basically 3 questions I need to answer before I actually go ahead in the sales calls. The first thing I'm looking at is, do I like my prospect? Okay. I am not in this business to torture myself. I'm in this business because I love to work with great people. If I don't think they're great people, if I actually think they're not nice at all, I'm not going to make them an offer. Do I feel I like them? I like them, great. Can I help them? Do they have an issue? After I've asked all the questions, do they have an issue that I can actually solve, right? My offer is a one-on-one match for their question. I can help them, great. Third question, do I want to help them? Now, Of course I want to help them because la 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 la. No, 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 no. Remember, you're in control, you're in the lead. So you actually already need to incorporate some of these questions that tell you how this person is going to be to work with. If you feel they're going to be a pain in the butt because they don't listen, they constantly talk over you, you most likely should not pitch them because you do not want to work with them. And the more sales calls you do, the better you get at tuning this out, the better you get at, okay, yes, no, mm-hmm. And the best thing to stop dreading sales calls is to do so many of them. Do many of them, record them, analyze them, look at how you talk, look at how you speak. I found myself taking notes so much that I never looked at the person, so I knew I had to change something. You will find it out by making recordings and reviewing them, okay? But trust me, nobody sucks at sales, especially not when you're selling your own champagne offer. If you don't have one yet, start there. But I believe you're gold. Thank you for watching. I'm Yvonne of Amaze Yourself, and we help agency owners, consultants, and coaches to increase their revenue and get more clients. We've helped over 327 clients to grow their business, and we do on a complete no cure, no pay basis. So if you don't get more clients, we don't get paid. Thank you for tuning in today. I look forward to seeing you next week, same time, same place.